Investments in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Welcome to another face-to-face, friends, and this time is going to be investing. This time we are going to talk to a fund manager who is managing other people's money and making money from them. Friends, financial market is a great place if you know exactly how to take advantage of this platform. You can be a trader, you can be an investor, you can be a long-term investor, you can be a momentum investor, whatever you are. There is so much we can do, and face-to-face is exactly trying to give you flavors of multiple things that can be done. I've been recording videos on options trading, I've been recording videos on value investing, momentum, etc. And I've been trying to give as much value as possible. If you are not part of Face-to-Face family yet, you better subscribe to this channel because we are doing some amazing work. I believe this is going to be almost 215th video of so much of content, and just to share a number with you, more than 70 million views have gone into this amazing initiative. I'm very proud of what work we are doing, and I'm sure you're finding value in that. Now, you know the new format. Thursday, we are here to introduce the guest to all of you, and tomorrow, Friday, 5 p.m., I'm sure you have reserved that time for me, we are going to discuss the intricacies of how to invest wisely, how to create long-term wealth from this amazing platform. So let me welcome the guest for today's face-to-face, Mr. Aveek Mitra.
Hi.
Hello,
Thanks,
sir.
Vivek. Hi.
Good to have you.
Same for me.
And I'm very happy that you hail from Calcutta, although you don't stay here, but you hail from Calcutta, and you are doing amazing work in the domain of investing.
Yeah, I'm not only hail from Calcutta, I'm still now well connected with Calcutta, though I have left the city in 1988.
Okay.
But I keep coming very regularly, and I'm a Bengali by heart. But now thanks for having me here.
It's my pleasure. Well, not many Bengalis are actually investors. Or do you want to reject that?
I think that was a handicap which I faced when I started, because I think in my college days nobody used to talk about investments, and even during my MBA class, when I did my MBA in 1990 in Delhi, so that time also we hardly discussed investments. So I started understanding investments quite late in life, beyond 30s. So
do you have a regret?
Regret? No, but yes, it could have been better. I have no regrets for anything, but it could have been better.
What's the ideal age for someone to start talking about investing, reading about it, thinking about it?
Reading about, I think, should start at the college age, because I think we learn too many things which are absolutely of no use in life, but we don't know how to manage money or how to make money. So apart from that, we learn everything. Okay, and we learn something which is absolutely useless. So those areas, I think there are a lot of things which you guys are doing is pretty amazing. We also have started that in a very different format. So I think you know that we started Value Picker Forum, which was long time back.
Of course. Donald?
Yes.
Of course.
Donald and Ayush and Abhishek Basumalli and all these people. So I was a very frequent contributor at some point of time, but presently I have reduced substantially since the time I have become a SEBI Registered Adviser, started Aveek Equity. This has been reduced. So, but apart from that, it is a exercise which we also started in another way. But you have taken it to a different scale, and it's amazing that you are having some 70 million viewers is something. I think somewhat. Then it is what. 5% of India have seen it.
Yes. That's a good number to know, and quite a lot of percentage of financial market active participants. I would say that
amazing
people
stuff.
See this. So all credit to
I'll make it a point to see all these videos.
But
as much as I can.
Don't see all the videos. I think I will probably send you the relevant ones which you should see. Otherwise,
I will.
We do record a lot of things like in options trading, intraday scalping, and all kind of things which will not be.
Unfortunately, I don't know most of these things.
Good for you. Good for you. But sir,
I know very little things. So
that's good. I've known this for most of the investors I've interviewed, be it Mr. Vijay Kedia and other people. Finally, I see them saying that I know very little. And they make so much money with that little knowledge. And we are going to extract as much as knowledge from you with your little wisdom.
Whatever knowledge I have, but I
Yeah.
think I have a feeling, I think that everybody knows everything. So now people just want to revalidate whatever they know from others.
That's true.
So and people are, I think, compared to our age, I'm 55 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, so compared to our age, people are way smarter. So I find them that I don't know how we are still surviving, because these people are way smarter than us.
Yes,
so
yes.
Look at you. So you are way smarter than me, and even younger people are way smarter than you.
Yeah,
So,
that's true, Dada. I mean, so much. Sorry if I can use the word Dada for
Yeah,
you,
absolutely,
because you're from
absolutely.
Bengali. So in Bengali, हम लोग के यहाँ पर ये है standard that we have to speak.
Yeah.
को दादा
Feel
बोलते हैं, and you know. Anyways, so you know, we're going to talk about a lot about wisdom. I saw one of your tweets recently where you talked about a YouTube channel where you got a lot of wisdom content from Ramakrishna Mission.
Yeah, I am actually following Ramakrishna Mission and their work, though I'm not officially any kind of initiated to anything. But I am having my own quest in life. Okay, so I read a lot. So one of those areas of my reading is in spirituality. So there, I always was looking for something very systematic. Okay, where everything, all our spiritual texts were put in a very systematic way, so that people can understand in a structured manner about what is there. Otherwise, randomly reading something or randomly listening to some kind of talking heads and so-called gurus reaches nowhere. So they giving their own interpretations. You are not knowing the texts or what the texts are telling. So. That way, I found that Indian Heritage has done a fantastic work of systematically putting things, so which you can, if your test suits, then you can go through that.
Yes. So what we intend to do, Dada, is that we're going to do all kind of conversation with you, because you have such a strong experience, wisdom of living a fantastic life. You have been a CEO earlier. You built a great enterprise. Then you moved on, and then you're doing what you are doing the best. So. Well, let me first know more about you. That how has been your journey?
Okay. So I started in a very I was born in a 200-year-old house, actually, in middle class Kolkata.
Achha.
So and that house is still there, by the
way.
Yeah. So,
amazing.
So though nobody stays there, but it is still there in the heart of the North Calcutta. So. My father was an interesting person in one sense that, unlike most Bengalis, he never did a job. He was always doing some business. Though most of the business he failed. So, and he's a failed businessman, I can say. But the thing is that from all these failures, I learned a few things. So, what are the things I should not do? And he was instrumental in telling me that don't do many things for others. Try to do something someday for yourself. Okay, so that was there, but I didn't have money to do that exercise, to start that exercise. So I did my schooling, I did my college. I studied physics, actually, from Scottish. And then...
Scottish college?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing,
Okay. So I did physics, and then I was going for MSc, but in Vishwaharati, because... then I decided that it won't take me anywhere, because I need to get a job fast. Because my financial situation was such that I needed a job. So I thought, what are the things I can do? I can do an MBA, right? So I did an MBA from IMT Ghaziabad, and I prepared only for about maybe very short time, because I decided at the very last moment that this physics is not for me. I will be a terrible physicist. I can be anything, but I will be a very terrible physicist. I don't have the brain. And quite early I understood that the limitation of my brain. So I thought easier thing to do is an MBA. And after that MBA, I joined a company called Modi GBC Limited. It's an offshoot of Modi Xerox. I stayed there for 6 months, realized sales is not a job for me. That point of time, I got an offer from Larsen & Toubro. That was more due to my physics cum management background. They were taking somebody in the project management, project execution department. So that gave me a good grounding. Actually, I was there for almost 7 years in L&T. I worked in project execution, project development, project management. And that time, I still had no inclination of actually investing, but I always had an intention of trying to make some money. So now at that point of time, actually, there was some property we had somewhere in Kolkata, in some southern part of Kolkata, some southern suburbs. And my father and others, my uncles and everybody decided to dispose it off because we were not able to manage it. There's a small sum of money we got. I think everybody got about some 3 lakh rupees or something like that. So, and then I had a friend from my MBA class, and I think, or somebody else, I don't exactly remember who was he, but he was a known broker. So I told that this is the money I have, and I've asked my father to give this to me, and I invested that amount through him, and he has given me a list of stocks. And I also used to think that, oh, since I did my MBA and I have understood finance, so I know PE, PBT, P, whatever was profit margin, sales, name. So I understood investment. Okay. By the way, I found that within 6 months' time, the money was halved.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and when it halved, then my father actually started taking stock. Actually, what has happened to these? So, and I told him that, you don't worry, so it will come back or something like that. But that never happened. So it was in 1994. So by 1996, I found that it has almost gone nowhere. So this money has not only halved, now it has almost become 70% down. So 30%.
But this was the peak of the market when Harshad Mehta.
Yeah, Ketan, Parekh and all. Harshad Mehta was a little earlier. It is as soon as we passed out from the college, the Harshad Mehta episode happened. I think it was in 92, 93, something like that.
Okay.
I passed out in 90s, so 90 batch. So after that, I thought that, okay, let me try it myself. Okay, I'll try to learn things. Okay. I didn't have money. Apart from that, father's whatever 30% salvage I have made, apart from that, I had only over 5,000 rupees which I have been able to save. By that time, I already got married. Okay, because I married one of my college mates.
Okay.
After that, what we decided is, that, okay, let me try. But when I started trying, it was even worse. So I was making some random shoots here and there, so I have not been able to make anything structured. Then at some point of time, I think after 98, I think I left Larsen and Toubro and joined Usha Martin.
Okay.
Okay, in Kolkata.
Yeah, yeah.
And my reason for joining was two, basically, because I got an opportunity of working with owners. Okay. And I thought that will give me a very different perspective. That is number one. And there I met some very good friends, actually, who are still my good friends. One of those friends, unfortunately, died. So he has had cancer. But from him, actually, I really learned that what all things to be read. Like Warren Buffett's letters. That time in 1998, it was not very widely available. So at that time, we were in Bangkok, and we somehow got hold of somebody who had some copies. We have made photocopies of those letters, started reading. That has started giving me some kind of, what should I call, a framework for investments, right? What to look into, what not to look into. And rest of the things, I think for me, it is all trial and error. And now, second question comes that, where from I get the money, right? That was not there. So ultimately you need that, of course, raw material to make something out of it.
Yes.
So when I joined L&T after all these kind of degrees, my salary at 1991 was some 3,500 rupees or something like that. Okay. And when I joined Usha Martin by the year 1990, my salary was maybe about 90,000 rupees or something like that. So in 2001, I think I decided that I got an opportunity in Singapore that there is a very startup run by two Americans, one from Bangladesh origin, other from Philippines origin. These two guys came together. They were both from Wharton School of Business, and they came together, started a business in Bangladesh and the Philippines. I met them in some program in Singapore. I don't exactly remember right now. So that has actually took me to Singapore, but mostly I stayed in Bangladesh and Philippines. And there it was a business of IT infrastructure services and things like that. And that business I built up actually. When I started, it was $2 million. It has gone up to $35 million by the time and I had a small stake in that business. Okay, because that was a thing, it was a kicker for me. So I left in between in 2008 once when I first sold a stake in Philippines business. That point of I'll come to that later, but let me come back to the original question, where from I get the money. Right. So the first set of amount of money I got, apart from recovering that money which I have already done for my father or investing somewhere, I don't really remember. Okay, but mostly trading. Too many things actually. Increasing 5%, increasing 10%, sell it, buy something. So that point of time when I left Larsen and Usha Martin, all this PFI took out.
Okay.
And invested in, and that was about 3-4 lakh rupees, I think, altogether. Okay, that was first time is a large money apart from that 3 lakhs. So 7-8 lakh rupees altogether was there. And that money I invested in stocks, and that has really done well. And also when I went abroad, so gradually I was started earning a little bit more money. Yeah. So that I started gradually investing. 2003 to 2008, I still consider as the best period of my stock returns. So it has not really, because I have become also much more, what should I call, circumspect now, rather than becoming
because
adventurous.
Your capital base has gone up.
So I was more adventurous at that point of time, and also I faced the 2008 catastrophe. So that has actually had an indelible mark in me. So of protecting capital. Yeah. Because I have seen that. So that is another story. I think we can come back
we'll discuss
later.
that.
So my business was running. I was investing as a part-time activity, but part-time is not part-time means absolutely like a hobby. I can tell it as a second job, you can say. Yeah. Even though running a business, I made a point that I will at least invest 2 to 3 hours in a day to study companies and developing a thinking framework, basically. I was actually focusing on two things. One is trying to learn about as many companies as possible, as many business models as possible across the world, whatever I am getting in. Okay, so if I am meeting somebody, I'm trying to understand. If I'm reading something, I'm trying to understand. So I'm in a learning mode. Even now, I'm in a learning mode. Okay, so point is, that time I tried to absorb something, invested here and there. So. But 2000, when I got that money, the large part of that, a significant portion, almost 80% of that money was invested in a company called Sun Pharmaceuticals. Okay, and that time, and that I have come to know from my family that all my doctors are there. You know that in Bengalis, either there are doctors or engineers. There are two professions, or a professor. These are the professions which generally people go for. People don't go for this kind of even
financial
private sector
market or business.
Not even private sector job is also not that respected. Kind of a, either in government or school or in engineer, doctor, or so. And so somebody was telling me that this company is doing well, and I used to find that all these representatives coming in, and also based on that I made the investment. So in hindsight, I can say it's a very, very stupid way of investing. Okay, but I kept tracking that company now, and I hold that company for almost 16 years. I sold it in 2016. Okay, so 16 years I was holding that company. So that was my longest holding period for any stock. So, and I was not been able to sell that for some reason. Otherwise, I would have sold that in 2008. Okay, because 2008, I started selling left, right, and center when I thought that my portfolio is falling. Because I thought that at some point of time I have to stop it. So, but those are the mistakes. I think I don't know whether it was a mistake or in hindsight, everything you can say that learning or a mistake or a blunder. So. True. So that way, through that process, and that point of time during 4, 5, actually what happened is that I have started telling my friends and all these people are buy this, buy that, sell that. Yes. So that way I got some kind of a following among the friends, fools and families, whosoever wanted to trust me. That time there was no regulation, the SEBI regulation was not there, I guess. And I was not having any kind of professional exercise with them, basically. So that way, I have developed a kind of, in Singapore and India, a circle of people who used to know me. Okay, this guy actually tells some stocks, oh, padta to hai. And 2013, and in between, actually, I came back in India and I was working with for a foundation. I started a foundation as a CEO in India called Dakshana Foundation. Okay. It was started by Monish Pabrai. So, and I scaled that up in India, but I left after a year. So I went back again for running the business. 2013, we sold both and I came back to India. And that point of time, I decided that I will structure these things. Not initially, I thought like that, but later on, I thought I will structure the start of Exat Equity and that's how it has come up. So now I am into another professions at a late tech stage. I worked for 23 years, and after that, investing for many years.
Okay.
Managing others' money in an informal way for quite many years, but managing others' money in a professional way for last. And I'm an outsider. So.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting profile. So friends, anyone who comes with this kind of a background and becoming a successful investor / fund manager, I think that's really credible. He runs his own advisory business. Before we proceed, let me give a disclaimer. We have no commercial interest in each other. Whatever he does, it is his business. Whatever you do with him, it's your business with him. I have no interest. Neither he has paid me money, nor I have paid him money to be here. I like what he is doing. On Twitter, we have been following him, his knowledge. A lot of people respect him. So we thought that because we need good quality people who can talk about their knowledge and wisdom with everyone. That's how we invited him.
I also want to put a disclaimer actually, because I think these are not for any kind of commercial promotion. We're just discussing things, and during the course of discussion, the names are coming up. So
absolutely. I'm sure that while we discuss, you'll talk about sectors, stocks. So please don't consider them to be of any recommendation value, right? So guys, we're going to meet him tomorrow again, and we'll be here only. The video is going to be live tomorrow. The main video with a lot of other fellows joining me for asking questions. So see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Till then, just stay with us. Bye.
Okay, so I would say that enough is enough will be there if at the first instance itself. Because if I have invested this, I assume that we have done enough due diligence on this company, because I am ultimately a balance sheet investor, right? I am not primarily a balance sheet investor. So I read everything in a balance sheet. I myself read, even now, I read every paragraph of a balance sheet, at least the accounts part and the notes. I'm not saying every means that all these kind of statutory disclosures and all, but I think balance sheet, every note in detail, I use ACQT for quick analysis, and then further I go into reading that particular thing myself. And so beyond that, if you say that, what is the point? I think the first instance, if I find that something I am smelling wrong, then it is no go for me. But at the same time, I would add one more thing, that there is a degree of corporate governance, and also you cannot expect an Azim Premji doing a construction business, right? Or an infrastructure project, right? So point is that depending on that sector, what is the corporate governance standard? That is a very, very important part for me. I cannot expect a person who is running a Premji or a Narayan Murthy, or if somebody is running a project where you have to do contract work with government and things like that. So you know that there are wheels within wheels. That has to be negotiated. So there are certain compulsions of that particular thing. So, and at that particular industry, I want to see who is the better ones. Number one. Number two is that over a period of time, I have also realized one thing is that this corporate governance is also a cyclical issue. When the market goes up, every promoter try to become very sane. Because they will chase market cap. When they find that the bear market has come, so they also have stopped doing conference call, they stopped publishing investor presentations. I don't know whether you have noticed it. So things are changing, but the thing is that it happens. So when the market was going up, so every quarter they will come, they will be more than eager to meet you and explain you their business. And when things go wrong, if you see nowadays, everybody comes with some fancy projections, right? They will do double, triple their revenue in 3 years. And I will see after 3 years who all are there to give that interview to tell that what has happened to whatever you have projected. So now that good time has come, so
everyone is riding that bull wave.
Yes. So now also you will see that many promoters have suddenly changed their colors.
That's pretty much true.
So corporate governance in India is very cyclical.
It's very cyclical. That's a very good perspective we are getting from you. So when again coming back to investing, portfolio construction.
Yes.